And now you know who Wernher von Braun is?
Yes.
Wernher von Braun was Hitler's right-hand man. He was his rocket scientist, and after World War II, the United States took about 1,200 Nazi scientists, including Operation Paperclip. They took all these Nazi scientists, and they took Wernher von Braun, and he fucking was the head of NASA. He's the head of NASA.
Yeah,
He directed all 6 moon missions. And then check this out: when Wernher von Braun died, put up Wernher von Braun's tombstone.
Okay.
Look at that, look at that, look at that. Wernher von Braun, what does it say? Psalm what, 19:1?
19:1.
Watch, and then go read what that is. This is coming from the dude who faked 6 moon missions. Look at that.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sueth.
The firmament.
The firmament
sueth his handiwork. Now the firmament, that's the dome. That's what separates the heavens from earth, or the waters from above and the waters from below. That's the firmament. That's the dome. That's when flat earthers believe in a dome. They're actually talking about the firmament.
Shut up, dude.
That was on Wernher von Braun's tombstone. Get the fuck out of here, right? Look at that,
dude. Shut up.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. That's what Wernher von Braun put on his tombstone? Get the fuck out of here. That's a deathbed confessional right there. That's a the guy who faked 6 moon missions,
dude.
Put that shit on his tombstone.
Oh my God.
NASA, in its wildest imaginations, never envisioned this scenario. An astronaut drowning in a spacesuit on a spacewalk 260 miles above planet Earth.
Drowning inside his own helmet
caused him to nearly drown inside of his own suit.
Water in his helmet?
It's an incredible story.
Harrowing.
Almost unfathomable.
Unbelievable. This was one they had never envisioned.
I experienced what it's like to be a goldfish in a fishbowl.
Hey, let's use a diaper. I thought that's a clever solution to this problem.
Yeah, pretty neat. They also came up with the snorkel idea too, you know.
Makeshift snorkels.
This snorkel, if water is encroaching your face, the crew member can lean down and use this to breathe.
They're ripping that spacesuit apart, trying to figure out where all that water came from. Not like there are that many options when you're out on a spacewalk.
Next on Jonathan Bird's Blue World, Jonathan goes to inner space.
I'm standing on the International Space Station.
Water in space.
NASA says they cannot guarantee the helmet won't fill with water again.
And obviously, if you fill the helmet, you can't breathe.
Scary story. Glad he made out okay. That's a leak.
Oh, it's an explained leak.
A significant leak.
When I was commanding the International Space Station, we had a significant coolant leak.
I imagine there are no insignificant leaks in space.
These things do happen.
It's not, something we don't have plans for.
But,
you're in space.
You're in space, which means it's much more difficult to fix.
It's a pretty big problem.
Just about 3 hours now since we first observed what you're seeing on the screen, that being a leak.
You can only leak so long, and then eventually you stop leaking because you run out of fluid.
The fluid that you're seeing in the form of snowflake-like particles, it is a bit odd. Do not know what the source of that stream of particles is. A sudden stream looking like
a snow shower.
Space is tough, especially whenever you're trying to show video from space.
On the ground in the water tank, on orbit, essentially the same picture.
Matthias Maurer was wrapping up a 7-hour-long spacewalk outside the International Space Station when he noticed water leaking into his helmet. It was eerily similar to what happened to an Italian astronaut back in 2013.
You can literally see bubbles coming up from these astronauts' helmets. It's ridiculous.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, you can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space? So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, even on the outside of the space station, you'll liberate little pieces of, it's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station can be up pretty good. And sometimes, you need a little fleck of paint or something that you might just probably floating away from it. And, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
How's Bubbles in Space doing? How's what? Bubbles in Space?
Bubbles in space?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. What's up, man? Can you sideline hashtag Bubbles in Space?
Hashtag bubbles in space.
Bubbles in Space, brother. What's your word on that?
What is that?
Bubbles coming out in the spacewalks?
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna write that.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
Water in space.
And the first person to ever venture far enough up to see what the Earth looked like was a guy named Auguste Piccard. Most of us have never heard of this person because when he made it to the stratosphere, he said he saw what appeared to be a flat disk with an upturned edge. Now, after Auguste Piccard ventured to the stratosphere, we have the U.S. Air Force showing us the stars from space for the very first time. And when you look at what they showed us, what they actually saw, you begin to understand why the moon landing never had stars in the background, why they're not showing us stars from space anymore, because it's very difficult to pull this off.
The sky is deep black.
As you can see the stars.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
The sky, of course, was black.
The heavens are 10 times as bright, stars 10 times as numerous.
And we cannot see stars.
The thing about Carl Sagan, billions of billions, there really are billions and billions of stars, and you can see them.
It's an unfathomable blackness, with a texture you feel like you could stick your hand into.
And that's when things start to get weird, because people have gone back and looked at declassified documents that for some reason keep mentioning a flat, non-rotating Earth. Over and over again, it's in their flight plans, it's in all their working models. This flat, stationary Earth repetitively keeps showing up. If it doesn't exist, there'd be absolutely no reason to base all of your science on it. Something else shows up. In the 50s, in Russia, they had documents describing the firmament.
We can't fly close to the sun because it's 93 million miles away. How did I miss that? So that 93 million miles, is that length or is that girth? Because it would appear that the sun added a few inches when no one was looking. I mean, it looks like we're flying over that 93 million mile away sun in an airplane, and it looks like that 93 million mile away sun is in the clouds, which is where we get our rain from, right? So that's in our atmosphere for sure. It's not outside of it, and they're definitely not 93. I'm not very good at math, but I'm high school educated, and this
is what you get when someone besides NASA or FAKEX sends something up in the sky. You don't live on a bowl in a vacuum. Wake up.
So how will I explain the seasons changing and whatever else you're asking? Okay, look, my dear. This is the Gleason's map, created in 1892. Might I add that this is a scientifically and practically correct map. So if you know anything about Roman numerals, then you know that this is a 1, a 2, a 3, and so forth. It ends right here at 12. Starts back over at 1 and ends again at 12. So they tell us that there's 24 hours in a day. But when you break it down, literally, it's 12 hours in a day. The first 12 hours, the last 12 hours, which this would be night. So if the sun is on this side of the world for 12 hours, these people would be experiencing daytime. And that means that these people would be experiencing nighttime. Until the sun makes its way around here for 12 hours, then they would be experiencing daytime and they would be experiencing nighttime. Pretty simple. Here's where the seasons come in. So if you look down here, you know what, I'm gonna have to zoom in. All right, look here, it says the December solstice. This right here is the center, this is the North Pole. And you see how far away the sun is. Where's my hand? Where is my hand? Okay, well, you know. You see how far away the sun is? That would mean it would be winter time over here because the sun is far away. Now, this is the June solstice. And as you can see, the sun is closer to the center, which means that this is now summertime. The sun came closer. And on the outer countries, it would now be wintertime because the sun is further away. So let's just say my finger is the sun. When my finger or the sun is touching all of these countries right here, they are experiencing summer. Now, when the sun starts going out here, now these outer countries are experiencing summer, and the center, the northern hemisphere, is experiencing winter. This is what the different routes are for the sun. Yellow is summer, orange is spring, fall, red is winter. This would be winter, fall, and finally, summer. So this is basically what it would look like. As you can see, everything the sun touches is day. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, Batty Matty.
Guys, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I've been flying, and I've come to the conclusion there is no curvature. I never allow for curvature. There's no way there's curvature. We're random flat, aren't we?
Definitely.
We are, aren't we?
Flat as a
Thank
pancake,
you.
mate. Flat as a pancake.
How have you been flying for?
Like for Delta 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And when you tell people that, do they think you're like crazy or no?
Only one person.
Only one person?
Yeah, you're recording me.
Are you the pilot? Oh, okay. Am I allowed to say hi? Hey, I just want to say thanks for the smooth flight. Alright. I did have one question. Is there like a specific angle of downward tilt you have to fly at? 3 degrees. 3 degrees for the curvature of the Earth? Oh, for the Earth? Because,
No, we just fly over the troposphere.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to keep like kind of going down because...
No, you actually have to nose up. It flies.
Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it?
Which one? Sorry?
I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. True.
It's true?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, cool.
All
Hey,
right.
God bless, brother.
Alright, have a good one.
You too.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No, there's no curvature?
It's just all flat.
Gavin, I got a quick question for you. When you were up really high, what's the furthest that you've been able to see, like as far as a city or mountain range or anything that you could recognize after you've been up there for a while?
100 miles?
Oh yeah?
Maybe?
Wow.
I mean, it has to be something pretty distinguishable, like mountains.
Yeah.
So, like, you could probably see the Rockies from Kansas.
Wow.
But nearing the border.
The Rockies from Kansas, that seems like more than 100 miles.
Well, nearing the border from Kansas into or Nebraska. the very western edge of it. But while you're still in it, if it's a clear day, but if it's smoky or hazy, obviously we can't see much, but it's not that easy to see with the naked eye.
How have they taught you guys to account for the ground moving underneath you when the plane's coming in at, from different directions? Like
in the real plane?
Well, if the Earth is moving from side to side, but you happen to be landing on a strip going north.
But the wind is going like east to west?
Well, not the wind, the movement of the ground underneath you.
The ground isn't moving that much when you're traveling at the speed of, we landed about 143 knots, so that's quite fast. So the movement of the Earth it's negligible. It's basically standing still as compared to our motion at that moment.
That's your experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they tell us, that at least in the U.S., the ground's moving at about 700 miles an hour left to right. And I was thinking that's kind of odd if you're landing going north, or moving in the north direction.
No, the ground looks to us like it's standing still.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
It's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
Are you a fan of Hidden Knowledge? Well, let us take you on a journey like never before. It took us months to create a website just for people like us. We have gathered years of information and hidden knowledge kept from the public, and we place them all on our website for the world to see. We have unlimited videos and documentaries with unforgettable knowledge about the past, present, and what's to come in the future. We have books on meditation, manifestation, self-development, health and diet recipes, and videos. We have all you need to unlock your inner you. We have all your crystals and birthstones for all zodiacs. We have chakra candles and incense stick, chakra bracelets, and much more. We are here to bring change. Journey us on our journey at 9 Club.